Okay. References. Start. Do not take this cat home. You're not having a great day, as usual. I actually saw this menu on another game I played recently. What game was it? What game was it? I can't remember what it was. Oh, great. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. But in the middle of your walk, it starts to rain. Typical. But maybe this is just a sign that you should have stayed home today. Yeah, you can always try again tomorrow. Right? You turn to head home when... Kitty? Huh? What was that? There are only a few people around on the street. Makes sense due to the increase of missing persons around the area recently. Well, that and the weather. Yeah, who goes out in the rain? I actually don't mind walking in the rain, to be honest. But none of them react to the sound at all. But we did. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a dark, dingy alleyway. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward. The ground dampened by the rain makes your steps sound louder and more confident than you actually feel. Oh, I remember. It was Don't Slay the Princess? Yeah, I wonder if this is made by the same people. It's definitely a cat. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the cold, dim light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box. I'm kind of hoping it's not made by the same people who did Don't Say the Princess, because that game took me about 4 or 5 hours to complete, so hopefully it's not like that, because I would like to get through some more horror games. Aww. Is a cat. Huh? Guess that should have been obvious. Yeah, it was pretty obvious, to be fair, mate. It was meowing at you. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. Oh, man. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Oh. I mean, how could you not take it home? Seriously. Whoa. Why am I startled by it meowing? So cute. And it definitely knows it. You're cute and you know it, buddy. You've never had much of an opinion one way or the other about cats before. But if they're all like this one, it's a shock they haven't already found a way to rule the world. I literally said that at the start of the stream. If a cat knew how to open a tin opener, they would not need humans. I've said that at the beginning of the stream. You don't think you'd mind bowing down to a feline overlord. Well, that's a bit far, but okay. You look around the alley with a small frown. Who leaves a cat in a cardboard boxes these days anyway? Wouldn't they just jump out and leave the box eventually? Yeah, you would have thought so. Maybe it's got injured back legs. The cat doesn't answer you. Obviously. It also doesn't do as you suggest and leave the box. It's just looking at you, as if waiting for you to make the next move. Do not take the cat home. Take the cat home. I've just realised as well, saying that it's like Don't Slay the Princess, it's literally called Don't Take the Cat Home. Or Don't Take Cat Home. Let's take him home. You know what? You reach into the box and pick the cat up, holding it out in front of you. Why not? Oh. You're all alone, and well, I'm kind of in the same boat myself, so you bring the cat close. You didn't realize it was shivering until just then, but it slowly breathes easier as it presses into your chest. Why not stick together, right? At least for a little while. Purr, purr. You think a little while will probably be more like a day. You'll be responsible and take it to a shelter tomorrow, but for now, let's get you out of the rain, okay? Meow. You stop by a small local pet store for some cat food, then head back home. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. One you living alone in it. What? One you living alone in it. I don't understand what that's supposed to say. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long. Even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you watch for a moment as it curiously explores the new environment. Leaving the feline to its own devices, you set about making the both of you some dinner. You take out the can of cat food and open it with a tab on top. Put some cat food in the saucer and click your tongue to call the cat over. It's a universal cat call that everyone does. Not the no, that's not a cat call, is it? That's a cat. Is that called a cat call? They're talking about the universal one we all do when we see a cat and go. And for some reason people do when they see other animals as well. You notice that some people, they see a horse or a giraffe in a zoo and they'll literally go. So weird. It perks up at your beckoning and rushes over. It looks at the plate of food and completely ignores it. Oh, kitty don't like your food, buddy. Not hungry, I guess. You try not to let it annoy you. Here, puss puss. Everyone does that. The cat doesn't understand the concept of money to appreciate that you spent your hard-earned cash on it. You ungrateful little shit is what he's thinking. It's just a cat after all. I'll just leave it here. If you get hungry later... Okay, I read that completely wrong. I'll just leave it here if you get hungry later, okay? I didn't realise we were talking directly to the cat. The cat rubs its body against your leg with a purr. You smile. That's enough of a thanks for you. It follows you into the kitchen as you start on your own dinner. You decide that you have enough ingredients for a sandwich. Bread toasted. Mayo and mustard spread. Interesting sandwich. Turkey and cheese and lettuce perfectly placed. Tomatoes sliced. Oh! You wince as you cut your finger on the knife while slicing a tomato. Stupid! You feel a little embarrassed for such a blunder and sigh, tossing the knife onto the cutting board. You're about to head to the bathroom for a bandage when the cat hops up onto the counter. It sniffs at the knife and meows almost pointedly at you. Yeah, it seems to be. I think, by the look of it, it looks very similar to Don't Slay the Princess, and it's actually called Don't Take the Cat Home, so I think it could be made by the same people. Maybe. Not confirmed. Hee, don't worry, I'm alright. It was just an... What the frick is going on? You watch as the cat starts to... Oh, lick lightly, but enthusiastically at the blood on the knife. At your blood. You're so shocked that by the time you come to your senses, the knife has been completely licked clean. The cat sits back, staring at you. You feel a little uneasy. Sure, cats are meat-eating predators, but that was a little weird. Right. Sure, you're no cat expert, but that was definitely not something an ordinary cat would do. Right? Meow. I don't think I have to do the meows. You can hear the sound effect. Well, regardless, you're not about to abandon a cat in need while it's still raining outside. Not after all your efforts. It would be a bit harsh to bring a cat home, a very cute cat home, out of the rain just for it to be shocked that it was licking your blood. I'm pretty sure. I know if I get a cut or a scrape or anything like that my dog licks it, so. You were going to take it to the shelter tomorrow anyway. What one night of awkwardness. It says awkwardness like after that event while you're watching TV and you go to bed, you two are just going to be looking at each other like, why did you lick my blood, bro? Weird or not, it's just a cat. The rest of the evening unfortunately goes downhill from there. Even after covering up your fingers, cut with a bandage, the cat keeps trying to lick at the wound. While you're eating your sandwich, while you're cleaning up the kitchen, while you're trying to watch TV. You gently push it away every time, but you're starting to get worried at the strange behaviour. What if it's got a taste for blood and thinks you're food now? You're not sure what you'll do if it starts to get more aggressive. You keep thinking about the cat food sitting in the corner, untouched. Alright, calm down, kitty. Ugh, come on, enough already. You shove it away a little more forcefully this time, out of annoyance. You feel bad immediately, but before you can do anything, the cat meows sharply at you and dashes off around the corner and into the hall. You sigh deeply. At this point, you're just worried that it's going to take a bite out of you in your sleep. Maybe a vet will have an idea on how to calm it down. You can only hope. You don't have many other options left other than tossing the cat out in the rain. After finding the number of a local vet, you pick up your landline. I am shocked. I'm shocked again. The lights just went out. Great. Just great. Ray must have knocked out the power. You check the cell phone only to find that it's out of batteries. You must have forgotten to charge it before leaving out earlier. The outing had been so spur of the moment that it had no doubt messed with your usual routine. You grab a flashlight and turn it on. Wow, that's really helped me see. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Did the rain stop? But then, why did the power go out? You look outside. I'm looking outside. The sky is pitch black. What time is it? You turn to check the clock. Oh my goodness. The cat sits on top of your digital clock staring at you. Kill. 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 Thinking now, you realise the clock shouldn't be working at all with the power outage, but the numbers are lit up and going completely haywire. The cat stares at you, it's completely still. You think it was a statue if you didn't know any better. It's not giving off any indication that it's alive. It's not blinking, it's not even breathing, but its eyes. This isn't normal. You're afraid. You want to run, but you're afraid of letting the cat out of your sight. You consider tossing the cat out after all. But as soon as the thought enters your head, you feel a sharp urge to vomit. Those eyes, its eyes hold you still. Even with your flashlight trained on it, its pupils are large, round, inky pits. The flashlight flickers. And the cat is gone. Fear immediately grips your mind. The silence punctuated with the rapid pumping of blood in your heart is overwritten as your ears slowly start to pick up on the sound of static all around you. How is the clock working with no power? You don't know why such a question matters at the moment. but you feel as if having the answer will make sense out of everything that's happening. That order will be restored. But no answer comes to mind. You back away from the clock and feel as if the air itself coils tightly and abruptly in response, like a predator prepared to pounce, but waiting for the next move. But you're afraid to move. You're afraid to even take a breath. But you can't stay still forever, right? Whatever is watching you, you can already feel it's impatient. It's too eager. You don't know how you know this. But you can sense it as clearly as if it had whispered. Oh, let's play. Did you hear that? Right into your ear. Right into your soul. It won't let you wait it out. Not that you could even if it did. Let me read that again because I sounded like a moron. Let's try and get the atmosphere going for this game. It won't let you wait it out. Not that you could even if it did. You can't stay here. You have to run. With this thought, a sudden primal instinct awakens within you, making you tear yourself into a hasty burst of movement, of action. But you're still weak from the fear's grip on your mind. Your legs tangle together under you in your haste and you fall to the ground. Oh. A sharp pain explodes in the center of your foot. At first, you think you've broken your ankle, but something warm and wet trickles down the length of your foot, pooling underneath it. You hear the sound of metal scraping on tiles after skidding across the floor, as if it had been kicked. The knife. Winded from your fall, you look up in a daze and see the object glinting in a strange light coming in from outside. The light pouring in from your now open front door. Thoughts of how, when, who, what in regards to your inexplicably open door screech to a halt, as your brain finally identifies the metallic object you've been staring at. It's your kitchen knife, and still tinted red from the earlier blunder, but that's not right. Wasn't it completely lit clean by the... You gulp dryly at the pain in your foot. You barely have time to wonder how the knife ended up on your living room floor to be stepped on, instead of resting on your cutting board on the kitchen where you left it. Oh God, when you spy something in the darkness just beyond the knife. It spies right back at you. A pair of glowing, golden eyes come forward as the cat emerges from the shadows into the light from your doorway. It pads lightly over to the knife as it's skipping in delight. Oh, you dirty bugger. And bends down to lap at the blood dripping from the blade. Ah! Your senses slowly begin to overwhelm you. The chill of the air as it starts to suffocate you under its weight. The sound of your shaky breath, discordant against the static now piercing your skull. The dryness on your tongue spreading to your throat. The incomprehensible sight of the stray you'd taken in, licking away at the kitchen knife, once again completely clean. The scent of blood from the fresh wound on your foot. Blood. Golden eyes slid up to you as if in response to your sudden realization. Blood. You're hurt. Your foot is bleeding. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. The cat barely moves, shoulders twitching as if just considering the act of pouncing forward. But you're already on your feet and out the door. You run rather limp down the empty street. The sky is black and bleeding red, but there's a strange light emitting from nowhere that casts everything else in white. The houses, the trees, the road, even you. Everything. Except your blood. You can just barely glimpse the bloody imprints your injured foot leaves in your wake with every impact it makes with the ground. It hurts. It hurts. But you can't stop. You don't stop. Not when the shadows grow around you. Not when you feel the gaze of eyes all over you. Not when the road ahead of you is darkened by a long shadow of something behind you. Even then, you don't stop running because if that's the cat right there ahead of you, then what in the world is behind you? So yeah, it's behind me. Ah, interesting. How very, very interesting. Ending 0. It begins. Well, there you go. I need to find out actually who made this game. It was alright, wasn't it? You find a cat on your day off from other blah 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 endings. So there's quite a lot of different endings. How the hell did you get all those endings? 40 endings. I only made like 2 decisions, didn't I? Something happened, you think. Anyway, you can't really remember what. I mean, you must be able to continue, surely. Oh, I didn't save it. You're walking. Right, of course. The first time in a while that you feel like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do. Maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on the either side. You timidly enter the alleyway and walk forward. The loose gravel and scattered debris of the ground softening your steps. Meow meow. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, a big cardboard box. Is a cat. Ah, guess that should have been obvious. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Meow. So... Oh, I didn't say so cute that time. You look so... familiar. Ah, I see what they've done here. Right? Probably get out of the way of the... meow. Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a stranded black cat to look, after all. This one sure is a cutie though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. This time, I'm not going to take the cat home. Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you'd never take this thing home with you. You just can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. Meow. You are with rent and bills to pay for, not to mention you need to buy food to survive too. There's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You can barely afford this little outing on your day off. Meow. What to do? Leave cat, feed cat, play with cat. On second thought, I'm just going to leave the cat. You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up, having someone look after it if you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? Sorry, see you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watching your every move. You make it halfway down the alley when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. Aww, meow, meow, meow. Ignore. No, you need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. It's what's best for both of you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement of dealing with your furry dilemma, you'd forgotten that you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do for your day off. Let's go to a dog park. You decide to take a stroll in the park or something. The only one within walking distance is a nearby dog park. You think it would make you feel much better. First you get to see a cute cat today. Now you get to see a cute dog. Several of them, in fact. The park is bursting with owners and their canine companions. Playing frisbee, fetch, running, jumping, even napping. Whatever. Like you'd want anything to do with these mangy mutts. Who's saying this to me? What's wrong? You didn't think that? You decide to move on. The dogs are so adorable, you want to pet every single one you come across. But you know not all owners are cool with strangers just walking up and manhandling their pets. Not all dogs appreciate it either. So you stroll around the path trying to exude a welcoming aura that beckon one of these cute doggies to you. You don't have to wait very long. Bark! You stop at the smallest, cutest puppy you've ever seen, scampers up to you, blocking your path. Leave the park, kick the puppy, kill the puppy, eat the puppy, pick up the puppy. I'm just going to leave the park. Yes, leave the dogs. Now what? You spend the day at the carnival. Ferris wheel, roller coaster, pharaoh, boat. Rides you've been on before. Hoops, coin toss, balloon darts, games you've played before. Funnel cake, popcorn, cotton candy, food you've eaten before. All things you've enjoyed before. You're surrounded by groups of people, all having fun together. Laughing, playing, eating, taking pictures, making memories. And then there's you. The sun hasn't started to set yet, still high in the sky, but it will soon. You start to wonder if maybe you should just go home for the day. When you stop in your tracks, you see something new. An attraction you've never seen before. A maze of mirrors, funhouse mirrors. There's a third game in a row with Mirror Maze. It sounds kind of lame, honestly. There isn't even a line to get it. But then, what else is there to do? Do something else, enter the maze. Do something else. There's got to be a better way to spend your day off than wandering around staring at weird mirrors. Now what? Been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself to a movie theatre. But there's a showing of one such film at the old theatre. The movie is a little too niche to be picked up by a new cinema that opened right across the street. That's okay though, you're not exactly a fan of the crowds. But nothing ruins an experience of watching a new movie for you more than a noisy audience. Go to the old theatre. Go to the new theatre. Let's go to the old theatre. You eagerly buy your ticket for the kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of trace of other people and the decor looks like it hasn't changed since the 80s. Maybe even the 70s. But it's what you were counting on. You consider buying some popcorn, but you can't help but be concerned that everything at the concession stand might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theatre designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theatre your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect. You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking into consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, dim lights fade away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds. Before the screen flickers, no commercials or trailers pop up, the movie just begins. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. But just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you, momentarily casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You hold a frustrated sigh. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you're the only customer. You try to refocus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theatre before heading into your general direction. What? You gape in utter disbelief as the stranger shuffles down the aisle, only to sit right in front of you. You think I'm playing a schizophrenia character? You. There's no one else here and plenty of places to sit. The stranger is also unusually tall. Even with the stadium-like arrangement of the seats being on the somewhat steep incline, they're completely blocking your view. Move to another spot. You don't want to risk escalating the situation further. This whole thing is already making you uneasy. Why would you choose to sit in front of you? Surely they know you wouldn't be able to see past them. Shaking your head and passive-aggressive scoff in the stranger's direction, you reluctantly pick another, less perfect seat in the theatre. But as you settle down, you see the strange person get up, only to once again sit in the seat directly in front of you. You look around somewhat helplessly, as if waiting for someone to silently agree with you about how odd all this is, or at least inform you that it's all an elaborate prank. But there's no one else here with you. That's how you've always liked it, but you can't help but think that maybe it would be nice to have someone else here if it meant not being alone with this weird jerk. I'm going to confront him. You hate confrontation. You can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it. Your throat's closing up and your body's starting to shake. You've always been more of a flighter than a fighter. But you paid for this ticket. You've wanted to watch this movie for ages. And now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theatre. There's no one who will help you if something goes wrong. But you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put as much distance as you can between yourself and this stranger. You stand up, even standing and higher up in the incline, the stranger is still at least a head taller than you. The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if A hush immediately falls heavily over the theatre at your movement, as if you can sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass into your voice. Oh, apologies. Reading just makes me tired. Hey! The effort makes your words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious bark. But you figure they deserve it anyway. You're being a real jerk, you know that? Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? The silence that follows your words is deafening. So much so that you glance at the screen only to find that the movie has paused. Your attention is ripped back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly, like a small animal trying desperately to anticipate the moves of a predator. You don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare to blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns, then turns some more. Then turns more, beyond what should be possible, neck bones cracking, to face you directly. You can't move. Wide-going eyes resting above a wider, grinning mouth gazing down at you. The stranger opens their mouth, and what comes out is something impossible to comprehend. The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic, alluring. But it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out the door. You run through the halls of an empty theatre, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit now in sight, you sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically to spot the crowded cinema across the street. People, that's what you need. Safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street when a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. I don't look behind me. Desperate, despite your resistance, you feel your head turning to look back of its own accord, while in the middle of the street, you catch a glimpse of a grotesque-looking person standing behind you, behind the glass doors of the old theatre, watching you intensely, cradling something in their arms, something familiar. But beep. Oh, I think I got run over. A glimpse is all you get, as a truck speeds forward and crashes into your body. You're killed on impact, your body splattered across the road and crushed further under the heavy tyres. Ending 16. Poor screening arrangements. Well, there you go. I'm not going to sit here and go through all 40 different endings. If you want to find out what the other 38 endings are, then go get yourself. Do not take this cat home. I may play this. If you want me to go through the endings, just let me know and I'll play this. And I'll show you all the different endings you can get. But I can see now how they all come up. We have a measly 2. There's a lot more options if you don't pick the cat up, so there's a hell of a lot of different endings you can get. But this definitely has the vibes from Don't Say the Princess, because that game, every time you finished and went back into it, it didn't start off where you left it, it started off somewhere else and all that stuff. So If you like Don't Say the Princess, we played that a few days ago. If you like that, you'll definitely like this. And it is quite intriguing. Not as creepy as you would think. It was actually quite creepy. It's a good game. I like it.